does this button do show? It's an educational show about smartphones and tablets with Geeks on Tour.
Episode 74.
Episode 74. That is just really too much for me to even imagine. Okay, hi there. Where are we now, Chris?
We are in Hoboken, Georgia at a safari rally. Yeah, I thought Hoboken was in New Jersey. Who knew? There's a Hoboken in Georgia, and it's a rally of RVs.
And it's a nice place. It's just real, just an RV park. They have plenty of facilities here, plenty of hookups, and it's just been great. So let's go over here.
Want me to get that?
Go ahead.
Okay.
I'm Jim, and here together with my wife, Chris, and she has to get up real quick. Do you think your smartphone is smarter than you? I do. Do you have questions about your Android phone or your iPad tablets? And how do you learn about the amazing devices that are all over our table here?
Well, we are geeks who teach, and we believe that the best way to learn is in bite-sized pieces on a regular basis. So that's why we came up with this weekly show. Every week we pick a different topic. So say we're on episode 74, and there's there's plenty of topics left in learning about smartphones. Our website is geeksontour.com, and you can see all of our prepared content on there. These are live shows.
All right. On today's show, we have a tip of the day. This week will be bandwidth settings on YouTube. We've had a lot of questions about how the bandwidth works on that. Our beginner's lesson will be navigate with Google Maps. And I'll have an app of the day, something fun, Vivino. If you have questions, ask them here in the comments down in wherever you happen to be watching, just below the video. And we'll try and answer them live. The show is always recorded on YouTube. We ask that you go ahead and check out our YouTube and subscribe to that channel. And all of the reruns or the recorded shows are on our website, geeksontour.com/weekly show. Okay. We do invite you to become a member. It is just a lot of advantages to becoming a member.
And we will talk about that more.
I'm tongue-tied today. I don't know why.
So we do want to show you a benefit of membership on our website, and that is show notes. So in case you missed last week's show, we can go to our website and show you what it was all about. So here's our website, geeksontour.com. You just click on weekly show. And if you scroll down, first it starts with the current show. As you scroll down, you will start looking at the reruns or the archives, and all 73 of them are listed. So last week's was Fun with Phones, a grab bag of tips and tricks. If you click where it says notes and links, it takes you to a page where you can view the whole video. This is just an embedded YouTube video, but if you are a member, you can continue to scroll down and read the notes of everything we talked about, including links. So whenever we talk about a product, we give a link to where you can read details of the product. Whenever we mention one of our videos, there's a link to the videos. And then there is the notes of just what we did in the show. So last week was just a bunch of tips. So here is a tip for safety walking in the dark. Here's a tip on airplane mode, QR codes, finding past episodes, setting a timer, using swipe. And magnifying glass. So let's say that you read through this and you said, magnifying glass? What do you mean magnifying glass? I want to see that. Well, that's what the link at the left. This takes you to the YouTube video from last week at the point where we start talking about the item that is in the notes. So this you wouldn't have to wait through the whole show to see the little bit that you were interested in. If you were interested in magnifying glass, you click on that link, and here it takes you straight to the part where we're talking about magnifying glass. Now, I know you can't hear sound right now. That's just because of the way this show works. But if you clicked on this yourself, you would be hearing our conversation about the magnifying glass.
Very cool.
Okay, so that's show notes. And let me get back to that.
Okay.
And all it is our website, and click on weekly show and then scroll down.
Right. How you your quick tip is use less data when watching YouTube.
Okay.
How much does it take?
Well, it's so hard to answer that question as to how much bandwidth. So people say, if I'm watching your show, how much data am I using? It depends on whether you're watching it on a phone or a computer. It depends on how long the show is. It depends on what we're doing during the show. I mean, just showing you computer screens takes less bandwidth, less work than our faces. So therefore the tip is, there is one thing you can do that just says use less, whatever it is, use less. And I will say, I recorded how much bandwidth I used in watching 1 hour show of ours, and it was 0.4 gigabytes for a full hour, and we usually don't go an hour. So I think roughly you can consider a third of a gigabyte, but it really depends. And I'm going to show you my phone now. It really depends on what quality setting you're using. So here on my phone, if I click on YouTube and I choose a video to watch on YouTube, like one of ours, but there are settings, 3 dots up at the upper right, you tap there, and quality. You have choices all the way from 144 to 720. I measured the 0.4 gigabytes in an hour when I was on 360. Then I went back and did it on 144, and yeah,
touchy things, aren't they?
It's being very touchy, yes. There. I did it on 144, and it cut my usage at least in half. You know, once again, there's so many factors, but our tip is just, if you are concerned about amount of bandwidth, you can use less bandwidth by reducing the quality. And that's how to do it. And you can do that on a computer or on a phone. You just find the quality setting and reduce it.
Okay. There we go. There's a few people in here. Jean's on. Hello from Mesa.
Hey, Bob.
Bob's got his coffee ready for another lesson. Okay. Bill says it's time saver to take the link to the show notes, and that's great. David Carr's here. Hi,
hey,
guys.
David.
Okay. Any way to get full screen? When I click, it goes back immediately. That's a good question. I don't know.
I don't know why it's going back immediately. When you click on full screen, it should stay there. Are you maybe holding down and it's getting a click
tap?
and another click? Yeah, you should be able to go full screen and it stay there.
Sorry, but we'll take a look at it. Reboot. When in doubt, reboot.
When in doubt, reboot.
That's
my God, it fixes
that's my
everything.
middle name.
It fixes so much.
Yeah, we had a guy today, his phone. We were helping, it was help desk this morning here at the rally, and his phone was doing something weird, and he would put a widget on his home screen and it would disappear. you
Oh,
tried to put it
yeah.
back on there, and it wouldn't. So I said, "Well, have you rebooted recently?" And he said, "No." And I said, "Well, you might try that."
And that fixed it.
It did.
Yeah, so this is fun. We're here at the rally, and we have people sign up for half-hour one-on-ones with one-on-one with the geeks.
It's usually her. She knows so much more
Well, I
about
like
this
I
than
like
I
the
do.
teaching.
You do. You are.
Okay, did you want to show? I want to show this before we move on.
All right.
This is just to get lower quality equals lower data consumption on a YouTube. And our show, you will use roughly 1/10 of a gigabyte per quarter hour. That's what my research, my scientific research has come up with. Okay.
I'm glad we have a research arm of Geeks on Tour. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can see all of the videos we put up there. And our beginner's lesson, navigating with Google Maps. And this has been really handy for us. And
handy. It's been absolutely essential.
Essential, right? Okay. Yeah, we're in different places all the time, obviously. And so we just love Google navigating with Google Maps.
But there's a lot to know, first of all, and they change it all the time. I mean, It seems like every day I notice something new. And I'm going to show you just the basics. This is our beginner's lesson, remember. This is not a tips and tricks, although I'll bet you, even if you're in advance, you might see something that you haven't seen before. So I'm going to start with the iPad, and we will go to Google Maps. And the first thing to understand is that there's a difference between directions and navigation. So this little icon in the lower right-hand corner is directions. It just has a crooked arrow. If I tap on that, then I get the ability to put in a from and a to. So for example, later this summer, we are going to be up in Essex Junction, Vermont. So I can say from Essex, and our next stop is Springfield, Massachusetts. And I'm wondering, are we going to need to plan just one day for that, or does it need more? I'm just researching. So the next stop is Springfield, Massachusetts. And this is very handy. I mean, just so quick and easy. It tells me, oh, that's 206 miles. And I say, okay, perfect. That's an easy day. It shows me my alternate, but this is not navigating. Hopefully that makes sense to you, because what is navigating? This turn-by-turn voice-directed navigation means it's going to tell me where to go. Well, how can it tell me how to navigate this route if I'm not there? So let's see how to navigate. I am currently in Hoboken, New Jersey, Georgia, and our next stop is Perry. I can ask it to go there by voice if I tap on the microphone. Navigate to Perry, Georgia. And that's all you.
South toward Twin Oaks Drive.
That's all you have to do. I mean, is that nice and easy or what? But so now let me show you the options you have while it's in navigation mode. First, I always want to look at, well, what route are you taking me and what are my alternate routes? And that's this little crooked arrow button, a curly arrow button in the lower right-hand corner. I tap on that and it shows me a bigger part of the route. In blue is the route that it is currently navigating. In gray are my alternates. And I can pinch the screen to see more. And I can look at that and say, yeah, okay, I like the route of going over to 75. We'll take that. Now, what has happened to my status bar down at the bottom? It's gone. I no longer see our arrival time or anything like that. How do I get back? The key is to just tap on that recenter. Now, it is still navigating. I mean, if we were on the road and there was a turn coming up, her voice would pop up and tell us where to turn. But if I want to get back to the full screen, recenter, now it's looking at where I am and it's giving me my options down at the bottom. What if you want to see it not looking at the direction we're going, but I want north at the top? That's what this little arrow, compass arrow, is for. If I tap that, it changes the orientation of the screen so that north is at the top. Tap it again, and it goes back to the top is the direction I am currently traveling in. I like that. This button is for search for things along my route. I tap that, and I can search for gas stations, for example. And it zooms out a little bit and shows me the gas stations coming up, including the price if it has that.
That's nice.
That's a pretty new thing. Okay, but now once again I've lost my bottom. I can clear results and it goes back. How do I stop navigating? I say, no, we're not going here after all. I can tap the X. All right, and then I probably want to back out of this request for navigation. I showed you how to start navigating by voice. What if I don't want to talk? We're on the road already. It's noisy. It's not going to hear me. I can tap in there and I can type. Perry, Georgia. And that's the same thing as talking to it, except for now you do have one more step because it didn't know. When I spoke it, I said navigate. But when I typed it in, I just said, show me Perry. Now I have to tap on the little car to start the navigation and select the route that it is trying, or tap on the navigate button. I didn't realize that the speaking it was actually quite a bit easier.
Head south toward Twin Oaks Drive.
When you are navigating, you have some other choices. I tap on the 3 dots and I can choose to see satellite imagery or not. I can choose to see traffic or not. Those use more data. You know, navigating doesn't use as much data as people think. It doesn't use much at all, but it will use more if you ask for satellite view or for traffic. All right, last thing to show you is just if you need to do something else with your device, you can press home. And I could now check my email or check Facebook or take a picture or whatever. The navigation is still going on. You will hear her voice talking to you. So how do you stop it if you've decided you don't want to navigate? It's hard to see, but there's the top line up here is telling you that there is active navigation. Tap on that and you're back to your navigation. Then you can tap on X. Okay, I'm ready for Android. And same, it's really so similar because I was using Google Maps on the iPad. Now I'm using Google Maps on the Android. So same difference. I go to Google Maps and I can, looks like I have it already. There we go. I can tap on the directions. If I just want to get directions from Essex Junction to Springfield, I tap on that one and I can type Essex Junction. And since I've done this recently, I can just choose it from the list.
Practice makes perfect.
That's right. Or it messes you all up completely. So that's where I'm asking it to give me directions from Essex Junction to Springfield. Oops. Springfield, Massachusetts. So basically, I've just asked it a question. I've gotten my answer. You do not navigate. This button here will not start navigating. Notice 2 arrows. That just gives you the turn by turn. You know, it will tell you what are all the turns along this route. But I really don't want to do that. So I'm going to back out. I want to navigate to Perry, Georgia. Tap the microphone, navigate to Perry, Georgia. All right.
Please.
Please.
You're supposed to say please.
Now, why didn't it do it? I don't know. I am going to try again. Navigate to Perry, Georgia. It just didn't hear me. I didn't get the, I don't know what's wrong there. I did practice this, obviously, earlier. But if the voice doesn't work, I can type it in. Oh, now it got it.
It's just
It was just stuck. It was.
Sometimes you got to kick these things.
Yeah, that's exactly. And I have all the items on the screen that I had on the iPad. Same difference. If I want to see my whole route and see my options, it's this curly arrow. And I love that curly arrow. I use that all the time. I want to see, I do the curly arrow, and then I pinch to see more of the map so that I can see both the entire route that it's having me use.
Now, I noticed that you're using the satellite view on here.
Right. So how do I turn? And that's, I love satellite view if I want to look at the actual destination.
But a lot of times you don't want to do that. And it does use more data if the satellite view is up.
Yeah.
When you're navigating.
Okay. So where are my options to turn satellite view off? They're in that status bar down at the bottom, which is not showing now. How do I make it show? Same as on the iPad. You tap recenter. That just means get back to the navigation view, the main navigation view. Now I have all my options. 3 dots is a menu, and turn satellite off. Now we just have roads, and it probably will be faster now. Yes. Traffic is so good. That is real-time traffic, and you will see if there's any slowdowns along your route. You will also be using more data, so I often don't have it on.
Depends on the time of day we're traveling through an area.
Now, sometimes, I mean, if Jim is using the Rand McNally on the dash of the RV to navigate, and we don't need this, but I like to watch and see what Google is telling us to do, but I just don't want her to be talking. I can tap right there, and that gives me the mute option. Now, on the Apple, that mute option was under the 3 dots, and that's about the only difference anymore. And then this arrow is the same thing. If I want north to be at the top, I tap it once. If I would rather the screen have the top be the direction I'm going, I tap it again. So those are the 2 options there. If I want to see the next turn, they're all here. I can just swipe over, and it tells me when the next turn is. Whenever I've moved away from my current location, she's still navigating, but you have to tap on recenter to get the view back to normal. And last, how do you stop navigation? You need to have this status bar showing, and then there's the X. Or on Android, there is another way. Let's say I leave it navigating, but I want to go do something else with my phone. I want to go look at Facebook or my email or send a message. The fact that there is an active navigation going on shows up at the top of the screen. There's that symbol. It's in my notifications. I can use that either to get back to the navigation, or I can exit the navigation right there. There's nothing more irritating than thinking that you're done and you start walking away, and all of a sudden your pocket starts talking to you and telling you which way to turn.
And that can happen at some opportune time.
So you need to know how to stop the navigation, and that's how. Now on the Android, there's one more thing I got to show you.
Oh, of course you do.
And that is how to navigate. You know, how many times do you go somewhere and say, oh, I need to be able to get back here. I'm going to have to write down the address or put a star on my map. How about just take a picture of it? So if you're using Google Photos and Google Maps, and if when you take the picture, it records the geotag, and that's a setting in your camera, then you can do this. I'm going to Google Photos, and I'm looking for a photo, I don't know, a week ago or so, of when we stayed in an Elks Lodge. So I say that Elks Lodge was very convenient for when we had to go to give seminars at the villages. So I took a picture. There is the picture of us at this Elks Lodge. If I tap on the I for information, it shows a map. If I tap on the map, it takes me to Google Maps and starts navigating there. How cool is that? Quick, easy, and accurate. You know that you're going to the right place because you have a picture of it.
Right. That is just, I like that one a lot.
Okay. And I just want to show this screen here for a review. So a little bit of review of what the options are that you see on Google Maps. iPhone and Android are very, very similar. They have the next turn up at the top. They have the search. They have the map orientation. One difference is that Android has mute on and off right on the screen, whereas iPhone has it under the options. But other than that, I really don't see any differences. They work the same. So
I like it.
That's something we just in general like about Google. So we don't have to teach Apple devices and teach Android devices. We just teach Google processes.
And they pretty much do the same thing. A few more questions. Let's take a look here. Okay. How do you find out if she is still working during long pauses?
During long pauses. You mean voice? Well, if it's still navigating, you will see it navigating. So if navigation is still active, you'll see the screen. Now, if you look at the option for mute or unmute, and if it's unmuted, I think you're pretty sure. But the other question there, and I found this out.
What's that?
I forget how to ask her to speak the next direction.
Yeah, it used to just be the space
just
bar.
Be able to tap or
tap, yeah.
There's some place that you can just tap to say, talk to me, tell me the next direction. But I forget. I don't use that too often. No. I'll have to look that up, and I'll write it in a response on that comment. There is a way. I forget.
Okay. Let's see. Well, here, Bill wants to know, does data really cost the phone companies anything, or are they charging us for something bogus? They're charging us for infrastructure, I think, is really the key to that. They have to build
That's
these
their business,
towers
is providing that service. So
yeah, I mean, it would be nice if and it is getting cheaper. When you think about what we get for how much we pay, it is pretty amazing how low it is. Although we in the United States pay higher prices for data than
we pay higher than any other country, I think.
Yeah. So yeah, they're making money. Don't worry about that. And they want to make more money. So they are not your friend normally. Okay. Fred thought I knew how to use Google Maps until the last 15 minutes. Outstanding. I'm going to watch it again.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
I might just have to post that on one of our testimonial pages, Fred. Thanks.
Appreciate it. How are things in Arizona? Ooh. Okay. So we are old dogs, and we all learn new tricks. Geeks on Tour. Keep going.
Teaching old dogs new tricks, learning new tricks ourselves all the time.
And we do invite you to like us on Facebook. Our Facebook page is facebook.com/geeksontour. App of the week, Vivino. Find the best wine. That's something that Chris and I both enjoy doing, is finding and drinking
Found
wine.
this one, right? You may have noticed this bottle behind us, this empty bottle.
Did we drink that before the show? It seems like it.
I think we drank it last night.
Oh, okay.
I think, but we wanted to get it out to show you this Vivino.
Okay, it's an app that goes on your phone or your tablet. It's also a website, obviously, and you can never pick another bad bottle. It's good for the Apple, it's good for the Androids, and for the Windows phones.
Now we have to fess up, we haven't actually been using this app, but here we are at a rally, and we gave our smartphone seminar this morning, and we asked the audience for their favorite apps. And one woman in the audience said, Vivino. I love it.
And we like her.
And I said, ooh, that sounds good. I think we'll get that and show it.
I did have this on my Android phone for quite some time, and then when I got the new Google phone, it's still an Android, but when I got that, I just don't use my Samsung phone as often, and I did not put it on to this phone. I was just doing piece by piece, and then I got away from it.
And as you can probably tell, we don't have the fanciest tastes in wine.
I was looking at the
So
top 100. It was hard to find out of all of these that were rated the highest. So it's a rating thing, that very few of them were under $100. Actually, very few of them were under $200. And some of them were in the thousands. I don't think we'll be drinking those wines anytime soon.
And I just noticed, look at that. There's a QR code, and we should try reading the QR code too.
That would be another
session.
session.
Okay.
So check it out. It's vivino.com, and Chris is going to try and take a shot here. Hang on.
See if we can show this.
See if we can show that. I think we can. How about that? Okay, so Chris has the label there, and when you tap Vivino,
so there's the app. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, when you tap the app, it comes up and it has a place where you can put in some information, comments, that types of stuff, see where you are. It'll check your area for stores and wine stores where you can get some of these wines. The second button over there is where you can add a wine. These are my wines. So if you're in the store, you can just tap the camera at the bottom and take a picture of the label.
Are they seeing that? That's
yeah,
really...
most of it. It's kind of tough. Anyway, once you get it in there and you take the shot, it connects. It uses data, so it'll connect to the internet, and it will find the are you there again?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it says voila, Sauvignon Blanc. No, oh, we couldn't read. All right, let's go to where I did it before.
Okay.
Yeah, Yellowtail Shiraz, $7.73. I think I got it for $4.
Such a deal. Okay.
All right. So she said that she just uses this all the time. Life is too short to drink bad wine. So she makes sure every time before she buys a bottle of wine, she takes out her phone, snaps the picture of the label, and finds out how other people have rated it.
Okay. It's a cool app.
Yeah.
And I think we'll start using it again.
And we also had one for beer. We've shown that one before.
Mm-hmm. Cool
the
stuff.
Microbreweries.
I like that too. Well, did you learn something?
Yep. Hopefully you did.
I can't see. Where's
Oh,
number
sorry.
one?
Oh, that's weird.
That
Okay,
is weird.
which of these two buttons, you should see an arrow, a crooked arrow and a V-shaped arrow. Which of these two arrows means navigation?
The one with the arrow.
There we go. That's weird. Why is that not showing? Okay, so there. Which of these icons represents navigation? The answer is B.
B.
A is just for directions, different from navigation. That's just directions. Okay.
Okay, to give voice commands for navigation, first you tap the microphone on your Google search, then say,
navigate to and the destination.
if you move the map away from the current location while navigating, you lose the button status bar. How do you get it back?
You just tap where it says recenter.
Okay. And true and false. True or false on an Android, if your camera is storing geotag data with a photo, you can open the photo with Google Photos and navigate to that location with Google Maps.
Yes, true. That is so. I am using that all the time now.
Huh. And to turn off the voice for turn-by-turn navigation, do what?
It's starting to rain here. If you hear noise, that's one thing in an RV. You
Static.
hear rain.
It's static. I mean, it's all on their end.
Good timing. We're almost done.
Okay.
So to turn off the voice, you mute. On the Android, the mute button is right on the screen. On the Apple, it's in the 3-dot menu options.
Cool. Keep going. All right. So what's the web page that lists all our weekly shows?
GeeksOnTour.com, and the menu item is weekly show.
And the web page that lists all of our recent newsletters.
GeeksOnTour.com, the menu is blogs and articles, and newsletters is under there.
Okay. And the benefits you get by joining Geeks on Tour.
Access to all the tutorial videos, asking questions in our Q&A. We call it Ask the Geeks because unlike lots of forums, I mean, some other people might join in the conversation, but we promise that one or the other of us will respond to any question on our forum. And also the show notes, which we're going to show you each week now.
Okay. Well, we do invite you to become a member. We are member supported. It's sort of like, if you like what we're doing, you can support us by becoming a member at geeksontour.com. Click on the link that says join now. Next time, well, it won't be March 13th. We're not having a show next Sunday. We are actually going to be presenting a live seminar for the Family Motor Coach Association's convention in Perry, Georgia.
We'll be busy.
We will be busy.
So no show, but the following week should be fine.
And watch for the notification for that show. If you're on our list, you should get some sort of notification. Let us know. Let us know that you're coming. Leave any questions in the comments. We'll try to get to them live during the show. And, well, what else?
Do you want? I see one other question
here. Oh, okay. Let's see if that'll go. Yeah. It seems that I use a lot of data while navigating while traveling. Is that true?
It shouldn't. No. So a question. Are you using satellite view and are you using traffic information? Those two things can use some data. But the only thing that you're using data for is the map. And realize that the map doesn't change much. So people are usually surprised at how little data they use by navigating.
There could be something else that's using up your data, but I don't think it's the navigation.
Yeah. Now, battery is another story.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You got to keep that baby plugged in, and you should keep it cool. I put mine in front of the vent. I have one of those vent holders for the phone, and that keeps the phone cool the whole time, so I can keep it on. And some other time, we're going to talk about ways, another way to navigate.
Other navigation.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's see. It's time to get out of here. Geeks on Tour. What does this button do? Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
What does this button do? Keep pushing those buttons. I want to push this button
I'm
here.
Jim.
What does this do?